any of his. You know how embarrassing that is to be interviewed by somebody that don't even know you, and it's in your city. It's where you from, and he couldn't name one of your songs.
Perfect. What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
And I am Calamity Red.
And we are Conversation Con Artists, back for another wonderful, fantastic episode. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. MISTER_on point. And you can find me on TikTok at Eddie B Talking.
And I can be found on Instagram at Calamity Red 84. I don't know why I keep fucking that up. Calamity Red 84 on Instagram. And that's the only social media that I have. So.
Gotcha.
So before we get into the show, we got some. I guess we'll probably just do some like life updates like every week. But so I'm gonna be by the time y'all see this, I will be 40. As of today of recording, I'm still 39. But like in less than 12 hours, I'm gonna be a 40-year-old, which is fucking bananas. And me and On Point and some of our other friends are going to New Orleans. So looking forward to that, but it's changed a little bit from the onset of the planning of the trip because we've had some things that have occurred.
When you go to New Orleans, you go for the deliciousness, okay? However, for me, 2 weeks ago, I spent 24 hours in the emergency room because my blood glucose was very, very high. I was in what was called diabetic ketoacidosis, meaning that my body was trying to figure out how to get rid of all of this blood sugar, which is the beginning of diabetes pretty much. So this trip was planned and paid for.
Yeah.
And then I found I got diabetes. And so now how I eat in New Orleans is quite compromised.
It's going to have to be different. And he don't get sick or go to the doctor. So understand, like, when he called me, it was like he was on his way to the ER. I knew it was some serious shit because he don't go.
People been telling me to go to the emergency room and the doctor for all this stuff.
I was one of these
Hold on,
people.
wait a minute. Unreasonably for so many other things. As evidenced by the fact that I made it to 40 and ain't none of that shit had me have to go to the doctor. But like, I wanted people to know that when I feel like my body is out of sync enough, I will go to the doctor. I ain't scared of no doctor. I won't not go to the doctor. But it's like, no, this is just a little thing. But this was a thing where I was like, okay, this cluster of symptoms is not good. And so I never even felt bad. I didn't pass out or feel no tinglies in my feet or get dizzy or nothing. I was just like, I'm peeing a little too much.
Well, that's because you were super thirsty. Like, when I started being like, something's going on was the water. He was drinking so much water, and then it went to like stuff with electrolytes, and he still would be thirsty, like after drinking tons of stuff. I went to
Family Dollar with her and bought like 4 big bottles of water and just knocked them out in the office. And my thirst couldn't be quenched. And so those symptoms, that alone, I just didn't think it meant nothing. And then I started peeing a lot. And the problem was when I was down in waters, at home I was down in sodas, which was all sugar. And so it was just, I wasn't thinking that had something to do with it, but it did. But just saying this to say, these are our life updates. We going to New Orleans. She turned 40 this year. I turned 40 this year. I might be trying an edible. I haven't decided yet.
Oh, yeah. We're trying to get him to do it. But it kind of, again, he has grace now because obviously we're not going to make him do something with this new health situation. But I hope he does it because I just don't know how you're going to be.
I'm doing very well in my health situation, mind you. Like I have stopped eating. In 2 weeks, I have eaten no sugar, no white bread, no white rice, no pasta, no problematic starches, no chips, no snacks, no sodas, no nothing. Just water, just whole grains, just proteins, just healthy fats. That's it.
This nigga's a foodie. So that's not his normal diet. It's as far as you can get from what his normal diet is because he enjoys food. So it's gonna be different.
But I'm good. I've managed my numbers enough to where I feel like I can be a little bit more frivolous in New Orleans versus Thanksgiving, because my Thanksgiving plate was even small compared to what I would normally eat because I wanted to get a handle on my numbers and whatnot. So take your symptoms serious. When your body feel like it's out of sync, do something about it. And let's get into the show.
Yes. So, of course, we are going to start with Reddits with Red. I did some relationship ones.
Now, I want to remind y'all that I don't know what the hell she about to say. And she know what the topic of them is, but she don't know what the hell she about to read.
Yeah, never read them before. I only, I'll look to make sure they're not too long, and the title is what will grab me, but I haven't read them before. So, okay, I have two relationship ones. I'm going to let you choose between the two. Because this one came from the relationship advice subreddit.
Okay.
My husband, 35 male, has asked me, 31-year-old female, to carry our marriage for now. How do I do this? The other one is I, a 36-year-old female, almost died and spent a week in the hospital, and my 32-year-old male boyfriend never visited me. Is this a deal breaker? Is it?
We only doing one of them?
We can try to do both, but which one you want to do first in case we don't have time to say? Okay, you want to carry our marriage?
I want to know what that means.
All right. My husband, 35-year-old man, has asked me, a 31-year-old female, to carry our marriage for now. How do I do this? For context, we have been together for 8 years. Right now is a very stressful but also exciting time for us because I am pregnant with our first child. We also have had plans to build our own house for a few years now, but since that is very expensive, it has taken a toll on us. Also, with the baby on the way, there will be a lot of expenses. We both work, but my husband works way more and has a much better salary. He has his usual job, but he also has 2 side gigs that he can do all from home. Even so, he works a lot and is very busy trying to make sure we have what it takes to make our dreams come true. He is not always working this much, but it has been a few months straight now. To support him, I do all the cooking and most of the cleaning, though he does some of that as well. We have also recently moved to a different city and our lifestyle has changed a bit. This has caused additional stress and friction between us. My husband has very little free time, and what little he has he spends with me, but also tries his best to maintain our home / things that need to be done. All that is to say that he and I are both due to very different reasons, him providing and me with pregnancy, are just both tired. Things have kind of reached a point where we are both just stressed and grumpy all the time. This leads to a lot of unnecessary bickering and upset. Today we had a silly argument that escalated to me crying because it feels like we are both not happy at the minute. We talked and he expressed that he needs me to carry the burden, she put that in quotation marks, of coming up with solutions to this because he does not have the capacity right now. He promised to talk about it more another day and to contribute as well, but that for me putting my emotions and asking him for reassurances that we will be okay is too much emotional burden, and he needs me to find solutions now instead of just asking him. Any advice on how I move forward with all of this? Why is it only on her? And she's also equally stressed.
She don't work.
She does work. They both work.
I'm just trying to figure out why he think it's okay to ask that kind of question.
She does work. She doesn't work as much as him, but that's because he works 2 extra jobs. But she works
2 extra jobs.
He got 2 side gigs that whatever they are, is jobs he can do from home, plus his full-time job. She just works a full-time job. But they both work.
Bruh. They need to commit a heist. They got 4 jobs between both of them and still, like, why y'all got that many jobs?
Are y'all living within your means would be one thing. Saving for a house, that's part of the reason why I have not done the whole home ownership thing. Like, that whole process is very stressful. So part of it is that they're trying to, like, buy a house.
Okay.
But the problem is not that he's, like, overwhelmed. The problem is that he's overwhelmed and he like, fuck it, you do it. That's the problem. Like, obviously, both of you are very stressed. You're about to be first-time parents and you got financial stress. And I get that. I do. But, sir, you can't just say, I'm out. I can't do this. You're going to have to figure it out. Just figure it out. Don't ask me for no help. Don't ask me for no feedback. You figure out this financial problem we having that both of us are in. Why would it be for me to figure out? It would have been wrong for her to say that to him, too. Even with her being pregnant, you still are a part of this marriage, this family unit. And when the family is having trouble, the family got to figure it out. But to just say, like, I can't do this, you do it, is crazy.
And she's actually asking how to do it.
Yes.
Figure out the solution. I think the solution would be I'm going to stay with my friends. Like, okay, I'll make sure you ain't stressed. I'll make sure I ain't stressed.
That would have been my response, but you can't go by my responses. So, but I definitely would have been like, like, we're both in this. And I get that you overwhelmed. I get it. But like, to say that I can't come to you with nothing and that you don't have the capacity to be emotionally supportive to me right now is, we're both in this. That's like us both being on fire and you being like, you just gonna have to figure out a way to put us out. You burning too. The fuck we like that don't make no sense.
That boils down to, well, at the end of the day, he's a man supporting his family with 3 jobs. I empathize with that some, but she is pregnant. You did this to her. You shot the club up, and now y'all got a little one on the way.
Yeah.
Like, in order to relieve her stress to have a more successful pregnancy, there's work you got to put in, sir.
Yep.
There's work you got to put in. It's like, I wonder if they were saving for this house before they got pregnant, or if they got pregnant and started saving for the house. Because once you're saving for a house and then surprise baby on the way, you probably need to stop saving for the house and start navigating towards what's going to help y'all have a healthy family dynamic, a healthy pregnancy. Doing both of those at the same time is going to be a really, really difficult struggle to maintain. But that's if the baby was a surprise. Because why you got all these jobs? If you got these extra jobs to make money for saving the house, in my mind, putting the house on the back burner and letting the job go so you can be more present for your family, so you can be more present for your wife, that's going to be more memorable. Because when your wife is telling the story of when you were pregnant, she either going to have to lie or tell the truth that your ass wasn't trying to be involved with it. You was working too much. You wasn't present. This is an opportunity. And you get 2 or 3 of these on average. You get 2 or 3 of these 9-month stretches where you can tend to your partner. You can be there for them. They're going to have insecurities. Their body going to be changing. You can boost their confidence up. You can help them feel like something about themselves by wanting to be intimate with them, by not neglecting them because of their changes and their emotions and their hormones and all of these things. You don't get that many of these. If they're your only child, it's the only one. Like, I just don't think you should put all your energy into working, all your energy into that for all of that time, and then have the audacity to say you figure this shit out.
Yeah.
That is very short-sighted to me.
It is. At no point in any relationship should that ever be the thing. Like, fuck it, you got it. Like, no, that is the whole point of a partnership, is that you have somebody to do this, like, shitty thing we call life with. It's to have that support and to have somebody, because you could just do it on your own. You chose to get married. You chose to have this baby. That comes with another level of stress. And it's like, I feel like a lot of people feel like there's this blueprint for life that you have to do. And of course that includes getting married and having kids. But like, all of us ain't going to be our path. And all of us don't need to do that. There's a level of selflessness that you have to have in order for you to be a successful parent. Because kids they just suck. Their time sucks. Their money sucks. They suck everything from you. And to decide that you want to have that baby, to have that child, means that you're saying, like, I'm ready for my time and my money and all these things to be sacrificed. And if you're not ready for it, then don't do it. But just because that's what people have the expectation that you're supposed to do. And I don't know if that's the case with them. I mean, they may have wanted the baby, but like wanting a baby and then going through the process of what it takes to get them here and all the things it takes after they get here is very, very different. Because a baby in a bassinet look real cute, but a baby that just shit all over the front of your shit, not cute. But you got to still love that kid after that. And that would be very hard for me to do.
And let's be clear. The relationship with your child don't start when they're born in the hospital. It starts the moment that you find out that you have a child on the way. Your relationship with that child begins then. Your relationship as a parent with your partner starts at that moment. If you treat it like, oh, we got 9 months to get ready to build this relationship with this child and to be parents, you're going to be behind once that time comes. So doing everything that you can do in the moment for the sake of that parenting is your obligation, you and the child bearer. But as a man, speaking on my end, I would like to do everything that I can do in those 9 months to be present for my partner, so that when people say, how was your pregnancy? They get to say, he was phenomenal. he was amazing. He was there for me. He did everything that I needed to be do. He didn't make me feel neglected or rejected. When I had emotional experiences, he supported me through them and he helped me navigate through. That's the story that I would like to be told. And I'm just saying, even through the difficulty of this man working all these jobs with all of the obligations they have, he still has an opportunity to navigate himself into being somebody that she can tell that story about if he becomes intentional. If he doesn't, then, the story that she tell gonna be the story that she tell.
It ain't gonna be a good one. It's not gonna be a good one. Do you want to do the other relationship one, or you want to do an Am I the Asshole?
Let's do the other relationship one.
Okay. I, a 36-year-old female, almost died and spent a week in the hospital, and my 32-year-old male boyfriend never visited me. Is this a deal breaker? My immediate inclination is yes, because I'm not gonna be in the hospital for a fucking week. A whole week, and you ain't gonna come and see about me?
Now, Now I'm thinking if I'm in the hospital and my people don't come visit me, I don't care. I'm not bothered at all. It's fine.
Bothered.
It's kind of like, a part of me is like, I don't want nobody to look at me with no eyes of pity.
Oh, well.
I don't want nobody to like overly worry about me. I just want the best way you can come visit me in the hospital is treat me the way you treated me.
Yeah.
Before I went to the hospital. I just don't want the risk of somebody treating me like I'm sick and shut in.
No, you coming to see me. You're going to come and see me.
I don't care.
And if you don't, then you need to find you another girlfriend.
Let me let you know. That does not extend to how I feel about if my partner was in the hospital. In no capacity would I believe that it's okay to not go see her, even if I didn't want to. The aesthetics. You know what I'm saying? Just be there and not want to be there, but don't not be there, okay?
Yeah. Now, if he got a good reason, and the only other good reason is that he too was in a hospital somewhere, because otherwise, in a week, you can make time to come up there at least one day. Like a whole 7, and I can't get one? Nah, fuck you, man. But let's see. He may have had a good reason. Maybe she tripping. Okay. I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years in March. Our relationship has had some issues. Specifically, he doesn't really ever want me to sleep over at his house. Oh, girl. And he's extremely avoided in crisis situations. When I've needed support, he just disappears. He's got bad anxiety and ADHD, so I've really tried to be understanding, but I am always the one that makes compromises in what I want, and he never really has. Although we've been working on it, and he's made some steps to show me he wants to work on it and move forward and get serious with me, like moving in together. Talked about eventually having a kid. We really never fight except over stupid stuff, like if he is stressed and I talk too much. Or if I just want to be over there more and he needs alone time in his space. So before Thanksgiving, we were planning to spend it together. My appendix burst, and because I didn't have insurance, I waited too long to go in, and it got really bad. If I had waited even a couple of more hours, I likely would have been septic and died. The thing is, my boyfriend seemed more annoyed that I missed Thanksgiving and didn't go to the doctor sooner than he was concerned for my well-being. And I didn't even have a lot of money, but I had to take a Lyft to the hospital. He never even offered to take me. And since I've been admitted, he didn't come visit me or even send flowers or anything. I'm finally going to be discharged Wednesday, and he might visit tomorrow, but it's kind of too late, I'm not exaggerating. I've never felt this bad before in my life, and I just wish I had some support. I don't really have family or anything, so I've been here alone the whole time. He calls me on Discord at night, but he won't even watch what I want to watch. Reddit, what do you think? I don't want to break up with a good guy, but I don't know what to think about this. It's made me feel pretty bad. He didn't care to come visit at all. I think this is supposed to be had. I would have made sure to every day. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I would have made sure to every day and stayed with him as much as I could, like going to the hospital with him, etc., if the situation were reversed. Appreciate any input. I do love him. I don't want it to be over, so how can I work on this with him? I mean, I hope this won't ever happen again. He said he'll come when I have to get it removed, so I don't have to make this a big deal, except I still feel hurt over it. Girl. There's an update, but girl. The fact that you talking about he a good guy that you don't want to lose, and this motherfucker was mad because you missed Thanksgiving because your entire appendix burst. It's crazy work. What? You mad because I missed Thanksgiving because I could have died? I'm so sorry I messed up your plans. I am so sorry the turkey didn't taste the same because my ass was in the hospital with a ruptured appendix. That.
Let me ask you a question. If you had a partner and they had a condition or was feeling weird and you was telling them to go to the hospital, and if they had went to the hospital, it would have been a simple fix. But they waited to go to the hospital until it was bad enough for them to have to be in there for a week. How do you respond to that?
I would internally be annoyed because I just get annoyed if people, if I'm trying to help and you let something get worse. But the fact that this person that I care about and love could die would supersede the annoyance I feel about the fact that you let it go longer. Like, I feel like once you get better, I'm probably going to say something to you about it. But, like, in that moment, I'm going to just be glad that you ain't dead. And so I don't think I would say anything like then. But I would probably bring it up at some point.
Oh, it's going to change. The future going to change. The future going to change. Because anytime he feel a little tingle, you're going to make him go to the hospital now. And he going to have to go to the hospital.
Because we're not doing this again.
But you know what? I think this is a representation of when they say that men love women but don't like them.
Yeah.
Because love is equated to a sense of duty. So as long as you can do the things that I want you to do and that I need you to do with me, then that is what love looks like. You know, but as far as being there on your side, men leave women at a very high rate when they get sick. You know what I'm saying?
Which is fucking ridiculous.
Now, women leave men at a very high rate when they get broke. You know.
Fair.
But we got our things and our reasons why these dynamics exist. You know, but like, I'll just say, men, if just aesthetically, go to the hospital to visit your partner. It don't matter how mad you are. If you care about this person, if you don't want this person to leave, go. Leave this earth or leave you. Show up for them. That it's important to do that.
Yep.
And this guy don't know that. And he think it's okay to just be mad at her and neglect her in all kind of capacities. But you know what? A lot of us have grown up in families where we saw our mamas and our daddies doing that to each other.
Yeah.
To where that silent treatment was a universal silent treatment. I'm not helping you do nothing. I'm not helping you eat. If you hurt, I'm not tending to your hurt. It's a lot of us that grew up in situations like that. So some of us think that kind of thing might be healthy. It's quite unhealthy to not figure out how to show up for your partner when they need you, especially something that they could have died from.
Yeah. And it don't sound, it'd be different if this was like, if it was the first time. So like maybe he was just so annoyed, but he's done this stuff before where he don't want to see her until he want to see her because he want his alone time. He get mad at her when he get off work talking about that she talking too much. Let me tell you something. You want to get cussed out? And I get from a very personal part because we are therapists. I talk to people all day, and there are days at the end of my work day I don't want to talk to no fucking body else. I've been talking all day. I've been listening all day, and I don't have the capacity. So I can understand, being at the end of a work day, but like telling somebody to shut up and that they talking too much because you stressed out, don't do it.
It's a bad thing to do.
It's a very fucking bad thing to do. Don't do that.
The way the conversation was going at first, she sounded like she could be in side chick territory.
She could because he don't
let her come to her house. And listen, it don't matter what kind of future plans they may have a baby, living together. It's a bunch of dudes that got women in side chick that be using that little carrot on the stick technique to wear the carrot on the stick. And he be like, hey, baby. And she be like, ooh. Oh, hey, living together. And she be like, ooh. And it just keep her walking, trying to get that carrot that she never going to get because he got an actual relationship.
Yeah.
You know, how he going to justify being gone at a hospital the whole day if he got a woman on the side?
And please, stop blaming people's fucking bad behavior on mental health. Because she talking about he got ADHD and anxiety, and so she tried to be patient with him. Some of y'all really be using these diagnoses, if you in fact even actually have a diagnosis of these things, to excuse behavior that this is just you choosing to do. ADHD don't make you a dick. That's not one of the symptoms of having that, and neither does anxiety. Okay? So his mental health ain't got shit to do with why he being this way. At least not those two conditions anyway. He may have something else. But those two, that ain't why he didn't come see you. He petty and was mad that he told you to go to the doctor. You didn't go. It got worse. But like I said, for me, almost losing somebody that I love is going to supersede any irritation. He going to hear about it. It will not be while he's in the hospital. And it probably won't be until the next time he need to go to the doctor. And he like, no, remember the last time you did this shit? You remember the week in the hospital? We're not doing that again. I'll make the appointment. I know your work schedule. I'll make it. Because you going. You're going. You're not finna die on me. The fuck? You're going to the doctor.
He and a lot of other men need to figure out what it looks like to be a healthy partner in a relationship. And I think that we don't get enough opportunity to see what that looks like because, again, when women are growing up, they be right up on the mama's legs and they be listening to the adult conversations and mama be teaching them how to actually be a grown-up while our daddies was out there in the community tripping, banging everybody, and we were just running around outside not being taught shit. You know, and we saw daddy treat mama like this and we adopted some of this.
Yeah.
And we got to navigate ourselves out of that. So just a reminder, not showing up for your partner while they're in the hospital is bad male partner behavior.
It's horrible.
Show up. I don't care what kind of hospital trauma you got. I don't care if you mad that she didn't come for the holidays. And I really don't care how little the issue is. If she's in the hospital and you can go to the hospital, and you ain't working, you're off of work, there's no justifiable reason to be calling her on the Discord while she in the hospital when you could just go there and y'all can watch something on the phone together.
The Discord server thing was crazy too.
I mean, they ain't that young, but that's
no,
how
they in their 30s.
That's how they watch TV together. That's a way to watch, like, stream together.
Things have changed so much.
Well, I mean, it's a whole bunch of systems to where you can watch TV with people, but you got to pay for them.
Yeah.
So Discord is pretty much how me and my homeboys watch YouTube all at one time. Mm. You know, so they could watch it at the same time, stream it, and be on the same time, and then chat with each other while they're watching it.
Yeah.
So I mean that works, but like not better than just going to the hospital, bro.
Yeah.
Being with your partner.
Yep.
Unless you just don't like her, and if you don't like her, break up with her
immediately.
And if you don't like her, but you don't want to break up with her, but you want to be broke up with, then do this shit.
It'll get you there.
She'll break up with you.
It'll get you there quick. Yeah. But yeah, so that's gonna be this week's Reddit with Red. And if you see any Reddits or subreddits that we could get stories from, please send it to conversationconartists@gmail.com. All right, so for the stories that we're going to talk about this week, the last video we talked about some of the things that happened earlier in the year that we missed. And one of those things was like the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And we were like, oh, it's pretty much done, but we just wanted to kind of give our input on it, not knowing that a few weeks later, there will be quite a few new updates in this. So the newest updates that Drake has filed, they're not lawsuits, they're like petitions. They're like the pre-petition before you file a lawsuit. The first one is, both of them are against UMG, which is the label that actually owns all the labels underneath which Drake is in. And so Kendrick as well. And so the first lawsuit said that UMG was engaging in shady business practices and overinflated the popularity of Kendrick's diss track, Not Like Us. The second petition says that it's for defamation, which is the crazier one of the two for me. Basically saying that UMG could have halted the release of Not Like Us when they found out that song was about Drake being a pedophile and all these other things. And so because they didn't, stop the song from coming out, he's suing them for defamation, which is, I don't even know if that's how defamation works. I don't know that you can sue. It's weird to me that he's suing UMG and not Kendrick when Kendrick's the one that said it. And it's just hypocrisy in general, because he was saying things about Kendrick's wife in the way that we do that it happens when you have a rap battle. Problem is Drake lost and he's being a sore loser, and that's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. I know that there are people that are like, no, he's fighting the machine. No, listen. This lawsuit is just the epitome of what Kendrick has been saying this entire time, which is that Drake is disconnected from the culture. And he is. Because this is the cultural equivalent of snitching, right? People use the word snitching very loosely, okay? But like actual snitching is when we are both engaging in some kind of criminal enterprise. You get caught. And because you got caught to try to soften the consequences for yourself, you gonna tell on the rest of us when all of us was doing the shit, right? That's what snitching is. Everybody use it like you just never supposed to tell, but it's like telling when you was a part of the shit you telling on is crazy. Nobody is ever gonna make me believe that if UMG was inflating numbers, that they only did this for Kendrick. You're not going to never make me believe that Drake has not benefited from this too. And so therefore it is in essence snitching. You both were benefiting from them inflating these numbers. And because they did this for Kendrick, now you mad and you want to like crumble the whole tower down. And that's just not cool. I'm sorry. I know that there are like hardcore Drake people that's really trying to like justify this for themselves, and that's cute. Okay. But at the end of the day, this is unprecedented, and it's unprecedented for a reason, because this is not the way that we do things. And this is his legacy. Drake's legacy now is this. This is what everybody's going to remember. He did more damage to himself than Kendrick ever did.
Also, the fact that it's a petition means that he really don't have anything.
He doesn't.
He really don't know that they did. Now, what Drake is alleging, I think, is different than, okay, when we have an artist that stands out and we got the spotlight on them,
yeah,
we do put their information out. I think that's different than they specifically, for this one song with these defamations about me, they highlighted this one particularly. And this is the first time they ever done it. It'll be a different scenario if Drake had triggered a lawsuit like this before the beef.
Yes.
And then just followed up with it after the beef.
Yep.
But the confidence that he has that like the numbers are inflated, one, I think we all know that happens, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing where when a song come out on the radio, it plays over and over and over again. It's a host of people that's involved in that radio play, getting that much play. Sometimes on the radio station, sometimes on a particular DJ, and sometimes on the music group that's participating in it.
Yeah.
So that, I think that's probably common practice, you know, but Drake would rather believe the reality that Not Like Us wasn't good, and that the music group, UMG, just inflated it to make it seem like it was better than it was.
That fucking song was everywhere.
When it's people crip walking and stomping feet to this song every day. You know, it's like, come on. And not only that, but like, it would be a different thing if Drake stayed silent and then this popped out. But the fact that he's been salty this whole time, where he went on XQC's live and talked the mess he talked about Steve Lacy and shading
his
folks.
Fragile ops. Drake ever calling anybody else fragile is it crazy.
The issue he had with DeRozan, where, you know, there were people coming out saying everybody know what DeRozan has meant to the city, you know, to Toronto. Like to retroactively come back and act like he's meant nothing in the realm of basketball for our city because he was in a video with Kendrick Lamar supporting and advocating. Come on, bro. Like, so it's like, it's not just one behavior. It's a culmination of a whole behaviors that led to this lawsuit, and then led to him going on that stream with a guy who don't even know any of his music.
He didn't know any of his. You know how embarrassing that is to be interviewed by somebody that don't even know you, and it's in your city. It's where you from, and he couldn't name one of your songs, and he was trying to like giggle it away, but like that shit is embarrassing. I don't even know why you agreed to do this, because it just made you look even more desperate and even more crazy. Like, Drake has done so much more damage to himself. Like, because the thing about it is, with every rap battle that has ever occurred, there's been a winner and a loser, and the losers go on to have careers. There are been some instances where there's been career ending, but more often than not, the loser goes on to have a full career, right? It's just a blemish. This could have been that, but not now.
And you know what? The issue is that Drake, I don't want to say the issue. Drake is half black. Mm-hmm. Drake has a stake at being a part of the culture. But in order to be a part of the culture, you have to envelop yourself in the culture. You have to learn the culture, and you have to cultivate an understanding of what the culture is. He could have done that. He has the cultural history to do that. The problem is he wanted the shortcut. He didn't want to participate in the culture. He wanted to negotiate his way into being in the culture. And he was able to exist with that aesthetic for as long as he could. And now that aesthetic is broken. And he don't even know how to put it back together because he didn't cultivate anything genuine.
I don't even know what he could do at this point. Like after that, because even if, they're petitions, they're not lawsuits, even if he doesn't move forward, you took legal action after a rap battle. And I don't care how y'all try to disconnect this from that shit. I'm sorry. If Drake really had a problem with UMG and their practices, this just wasn't the time. This was just a horrible moment to choose if this is just really him wanting to take down the system. Like, I'm not buying that. I'm sorry. This seems more in line with his most recent behaviors, which is him being a petty Betty. He mad. He lost. He been mad. He gonna stay mad. And it really seems like he don't even have his handlers doing nothing. Like, it really seems like this is him moving independently. This is like when you see Trump without his, without the teleprompter, when he just go off strip and he just talking. This is like whoever was keeping Drake under control ain't doing it now. And now he just doing shit. Because you ain't gonna make me believe nobody in his camp heard him say, oh, lawsuit. And they were like, absolutely. I just can't believe that. I can't believe they would encourage him to do this because this is suicide.
I don't know.
This is career suicide.
Because, Kendrick Lamar talking about he got all them dudes around him.
Oh, yeah.
And I doubt these dudes are educated formally, and if they are, I imagine there's a lot more yes men because that's one of the things they've been saying. Like, if he got all of these dudes around here allowing young girls to be around and all of this stuff, they ain't really challenging that much, So I can imagine that they all sitting around high and drunk and be like, man, I bet they was inflating them numbers. I bet they were making them numbers higher than they were. And Drake was like, you know what? They do that for me. Why wouldn't they do it for Kendrick?
Nobody will ever make me believe that they
the difference between them doing it for me is that I wasn't defaming nobody when they did it for me. But because he's defaming me, I'm going to go after them for hyping up something that messed me up. And not only that, but they only doing it so that their negotiations with me would be less. And the crazy part is what you're doing is going to make the negotiation with you less. How are you going to be mad because they doing something that's going to mess up your negotiation and then you double down and do something that's further going to mess up the negotiation? Like, why would they negotiate with you in good faith now? And like, where can you go outside of this group? What does your contract look like? Like, I don't know enough of this stuff to know the way out of this, even if he just drop all of it. But I imagine them execs is going to be like, no, they've been trying to get documents from us. They've been asking us questions. They've been calling us. We've been highlighted. Why we finna do something for him now? Yeah. So this could be the end of his career. But from what I was saying earlier with the cultural thing, it's like when you see one of those superheroes that can shapeshift into somebody, but only to look like them. They can't use the powers or nothing. It's like they can shapeshift and it's like, oh, there goes Superman. But like he can't catch you. You can't run fast because he just looked like Superman. It ain't real. And so it's like Drake really just kind of like shapeshifted into a member of the culture, but like he's showing himself to not be. And it's going out bad. It's bad. It's going out bad.
It's going out bad. Like, this is worse than Ja Rule. Like, because that's what I'm saying. Like, even with the again, you look at any other past battles, it's always, them slinging mud at each other. It's the women always get. If anybody has a right for a defamation suit, it's Whitney. It was Faith Evans with because I'll hit him up. Tupac started out, I fucked your wife. Like,
yeah, he wasn't playing.
And none of them have sued for defamation ever because it's a part. It's just what is a part of like culturally.
It's rap beef.
It's rap beef, and so. Again, this ain't a precedent that you want to be known for setting. It just isn't. And I'm sorry if he was just like trying to take down the system. This was a terrible time for him to decide to do it because it's too close to what just happened. Not to mention you did this right after Kendrick dropped his album. The timing looks terrible. I'm sorry. You ain't gonna be able to convince me that these things are not connected. I'm sorry. You're just not. I don't care. If y'all want to sit and believe that he's just trying to take down the system, cool. But this ain't even going to take down the system because he don't even have no proof of this. All he did was made himself look even worse in the public eye. That's it. I don't know that he's going to accomplish. I don't know what he was seeking to accomplish from this. It's fucking stupid. But before we run out of time, I also wanted to talk about Kendrick's new album called GNX. What did you... It was random too, like a Friday, just randomly.
He just dropped
this nigga just dropped the whole album.
He dropped like a snippet of another song, and then right after that, dropped the whole album. Because when that snippet dropped, people were like, "Oh, we got some Kendrick coming out. January gonna be fire." Within the next few hours, another album was out. A surprise album was dropped.
That part of what is so impressive to me about that, listening to this album, these were not pre-written songs. Because these songs are addressing everything that has happened this year. So that means
since the summer.
Since the summer. So, I mean, the fact that he just made this music and it's this fucking amazing, because Adele take like a whole decade in between her albums. And it'd be good when she make them, but I'm saying like the time that an artist usually takes to make an album, this nigga did it very quickly. And he did it well. It's not a rushed project. It don't sound like a rushed project. It don't feel like a rushed project, even though I know this nigga just did this shit. Because it's about all the stuff that's just recently happened. Only thing that went on there is the lawsuit, and that's because it wasn't filed yet. It would have been on there otherwise. Like, that's amazing to me. I just love the album. It is a playthrough. I can listen to the whole thing. I only have one song that I don't really care for, and it's the title track. I don't know what it is about the beat of GNX, but it's disconcerting that little it's something about it. It just don't.
On Kendrick Lamar albums, there's things that I feel like he does well. Now, I'm not an audiophile. I am not into music like that. I don't have an interpretive bone in my body. Like, I love music, don't get me wrong, but like, I don't have an interpretive bone in my body. Like, I literally have to listen to people breaking it down and adding context for me to understand what's going on. I'm a very surface level listener. But from my perspective, I like all of Kendrick's albums. One thing that I think he does well is, one, he chooses his beats well.
He does.
That's one thing he does.
Them beats was fire.
My early criticism of J. Cole is that his music sounded monotone to me. So, because he just used the same inflection on his words all across the songs.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little different now, but earlier that's just how I heard J. Cole. Kendrick doing all the voices and all of the changes and shifts and talking to one person and talking to the other person in songs. He do that across his discography in some kind of way. The shifts in beats where halfway through the song, he'll take the beat out and then drop it again. Like, riding in my GNX with Anita Baker in the tape deck. It's going to be a sweet love. Like, that kind of thing. Like, I love when he do that. He do that a lot. He did that on that snippet that came before. He did that on that track. He did it on TV Off. I love when he do that. So it's like, for me, not only that, but he's deeply introspective. And I like philosophy. I like talking about philosophy. I like talking about life. I like talking about existence. So the things that he talks about in his music hit me. So this is another level of Kendrick because he's talking about actual shit that's happening right now, but he's adding this overcast of philosophy, of thought, of morals, of principles. You know, when he talk about in the album, don't let no white comedian talk about black woman, that's law. When he talk about you might as well have one woman, it's tricky out here right now. When he talk about don't hit him, his child with him, my apologies. Like, it's like when he said the party die and he gonna resurrect the party, he's giving out ways to actually now exist. Because this is what we're supposed to be doing. Even like there's a best way to do bad shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And here in Birmingham, these boys running around with these switches, they just shooting everybody up. Like, if you're going to do some problematic shit, there's a best way to do it. And it's like, I feel like Kendrick is implementing some of that stuff in the music that he got in GNX specifically.
Yeah. It's
been across his discography in GNX. Now, what's your favorite song?
Reincarnated. Because I like creativity, and I like that when it's something that I have to think about. Reincarnated, the concept of the devil being this spirit that's been reincarnated into different artists over the years, and now that he's been reincarnated into Kendrick, and Kendrick is trying to do something different, and that whole conversation with God at the end, fucking amazing. Like the storytelling of that song, also on a Tupac beat with a Tupac flow. This is another thing that I feel like Drake don't understand. Again, his disconnect from the culture. That is how you pay homage. That fucking song is an amazing homage to Tupac. The same way that Man in the Garden is an homage to Nas, because it sounds just like one mic. That's how you do it. You don't create an AI voice. Right? That's some whack shit. Don't do that. Right? But what Kendrick did actually pay homage to those artists. You immediately knew as soon as they reincarnated, when that beat hit, I couldn't name the Tupac song. It took me a while to figure out. I knew I had heard it, but I couldn't think of what the name of the Tupac song was. But I immediately knew that this was a Tupac beat. And when he started rapping, it was a Tupac flow. It wasn't him trying to be Tupac, but it was him doing it in the flow. And it was just amazing. That song, like, I just love that song. Man in the Garden would be number 2.
For the reasons that you listed is why I like Reincarnated, and it really tried to get me as the number 1 because I was a very heavy Pac head growing up. Like, deeply admired Pac, still do. And it almost got me as the number 1. Another piece about Reincarnated is just really how much he actually embodied Pac. If you listen to Pac enough, it's like the way he was saying stuff. At some point, he say the word choose. That's just how Pac would have said.
Yeah. Choose.
Like the inflection where it goes down. Choose. Like, I was like, that's how Pac would have said it. So him embodying that. And then just the context of the song is like, he was Satan the whole time.
Yeah. He was Satan
He was Satan as everybody.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's just embodied differently at the time. And I'm like, man, the thought he put in it. But the way that I measure songs today and what I value about songs is I have to feel something from it.
Yeah.
And Man in the Garden, that last section that he spazzed out on, I got goosebumps when he did that.
When he say, tell me why you think you deserve the greatest of all time, shivers. Like that's another thing he does so well is like the crescendo of his songs when that final line hit, that shit hit you. It did it on Man in the Garden, and it did it on, what was the other one that had like a crazy, like the ending just we were like, woo, okay, like it's an experience. His albums are an experience, and I can say that even with the albums that I didn't care a whole lot for, I've not done a second listen through of Mr. Morale. That was not my favorite album by him. But I think it's because it's an album that invokes emotion. I don't necessarily like the emotion that gets invoked with Mr. Morale. So not one of my favorites, but the whole concept and the fact that he can elicit these emotions is why I love him as an artist, and what sets him apart is the ability to do that.
Now, let me talk about Man in the Garden for a minute. So, first off, affirmation. Mm-hmm. I deserve it all. And the way that he's saying I deserve it all, at least at the beginning, is as if he's not sure.
Yep.
It's as if he's convincing himself that he deserves it all. He's not saying it in an arrogant way. He's not saying it in an entitled way. He's questioning, it feels like, whether he deserves it. And this transitions to she deserves it all. So it goes into what the people that he values deserves. And he is confident when he's saying what they deserve.
Yeah.
All to wrap it up into, why do you feel like you deserve the greatest of all time, motherfucker? Like, when he said that. But not only that, but that whole little end part where he said, I'll burn this bitch down. I'm crashing out right now. No one's safe with me. Blood spilling is just paint to me.
Oh my God.
How it angers me that somebody can speak on the game I breathe.
Yeah.
It angers me.
Yeah.
And oh man, I'm like, when he did all of that song it pulled me in. That's my number 1. That's my number 1.
It's my number 2.
And I wanted to say Reincarnated was my number 2, but my number 2 is Luther, because listening to Luther feels
like
it. The song rides so well. I was thinking of what it feels like, and it feels like when listening to that song, it feels like that moment of nostalgia where you either riding somewhere or you walking somewhere and you feel a good feeling of where you're at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like this. It's just like the way that the beat catches me. It feel like I'm floating. You know what I'm saying? And that's the feeling. Those are the only 2 songs that make me like feel something, where it's like, damn, my body is doing something involuntarily.
Yeah.
You know. Also, all of these little snubs at Drake, love them.
Yeah.
Black Noah, I just strangled me a goat. But listen, y'all, my favorite line in this album, as far as punching Drake in the stomach a little bit, is this is not a song, it's a revelation how to get a nigga gone. Oh man, that to me is the most egregious way of saying you're out of here. that was expressed in this album. And another song, Gloria. Because Gloria, to me, embodies the energy of Me and My Girlfriend by Tupac.
Yeah.
Because in Me and My Girlfriend, it's a song where he's rapping as if it's a woman, but he's rapping about his gun.
Yeah.
And Kendrick Lamar in Gloria,
he's rapping about his pen.
It sounds like he's rapping about a woman, but he's rapping about his pen. And not only that, but like the break in the song in Me and My Girlfriend is like, what? I'm the bitch that's keeping it alive and keeping it hot. What, nigga? Drop that shit. Like it breaks to where his gun has a voice. And in Kendrick's song, it breaks to where his pen has a voice. And I'm like, this man is just paying very subtle homages throughout this whole track listing. Yeah. And he's keeping his foot on Aubrey neck the whole track listing. And he do grab J. Cole by the dreads a little bit, slang him around a little bit.
He do. He make a couple
in this track listing.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely
He don't say his name. But you know, the way, and it's like, I got friends, I got foes, and they all sitting ducks.
Yes.
So nobody's safe.
TV Off is my favorite, like, fun song. Because, one, the mustard is hilarious. But the second time he say mustard, what he says before that is, walking through the streets of New Orleans with the etiquette of LAX screaming mustard. Fucking hilarious. That whole song has some good little one-liners. I like TV Off. I like TV Off.
I like TV Off too. TV Off is good. But and reading into it and watching people's assessments, they saying your TV Off means what what New Orleans is gonna do, or the people who disagree with him having a Super Bowl, they're gonna turn their TV off.
Turn the TV off.
And I'm like, do it.
Go on, turn it off. Mine will be on. I want to see it.
Listen, y'all.
I don't even watch football, but I want to watch that shit.
For a period of time, especially when Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers came out, and JID, the Forever Story came out, I was like, I think JID might be my number 1. As far as how he tells his story, the story he tells, how I like hearing rap, Kendrick has by far surpassed that. Like, and it was close to Kendrick and JID. But like, and my favorites change over time. I don't got no like all-time greatest favorite. It's just who I'm listening to now. And right now, Kendrick is just on top for me, man. And this album was a very pleasant surprise.
I listened to it so
matter of fact, I'm looking forward to Kendrick putting out some dookie ass shit just to make sure I ain't tripping. Like, can he put out something that I don't like? I know a lot of people don't like a lot of his stuff, and there's a lot of people that people love that I don't, like. And so everybody has the freedom to not like it. If you say the whole album is trash, I don't believe you. You didn't listen. You didn't intend to. You didn't try to hear nothing. At least, and okay. There are albums that people love that I don't like. So maybe I'll even give you that room. But there has to be something in there that's okay. Like, I don't really listen to Tyler, Creator, like that. But Chromacopia is good.
Yeah.
Some of his other albums are good, too. There's nothing in me that make me want to go listen to his album again. But, man, I'm just saying, I like it.
Thank you, Drake. Without you, this would not have happened. So thank you for being the catalyst for this album, because it's fucking amazing. So I appreciate you. I hate what you've done to yourself in your own career, but, and for you, young, because it's usually younger people I see saying this shit about, like, y'all really equate like if somebody is a good artist based on popularity. Like all of y'all who talking about like Kendrick been dragging this because he needs somebody to like, he need the spotlight. He using Drake to get some shine. He's fucking Kendrick Lamar. What are you talking about? But because y'all feel like it's got to be somebody that's in the booth all the time making music that you can dance to, and that's how you just determine who to be. And that's your business, right? And I probably was like that when I was younger too. But now it takes substance for me to give a shit about an artist. Okay,
That's important. That's very important. And again, if Drake participates in C-Spot Run Rap,
he does.
Okay. She used to call me on my cell phone.
God. And I got
late night when she needs.
I feel like that song got inflated because that fucking song was so annoying after a while, and it was everywhere. That's what I'm saying. Ain't nobody gonna ever make me believe that if UMG doing this shit that they not doing it for Drake. I'm sorry.
Do you love me? Like, if that's what you need in your music, that is fine. I like more complex concepts about life, philosophy, and existence. And somebody who is okay with not just having hits on the album, But Kendrick Lamar is figuring out the algorithm between making a deep, intricate song that means something and a hit.
He is.
And shitting on a nigga.
He's doing it well. Probably it's gonna stop. Stop.
It's gonna stop in a minute. How to get a nigga gone. He's participating in those kind of shenanigans, and I'm here for it.
I'm here for it all day and twice on Sunday. Let's do it.
But
Let's fucking do it.
But that's what we was talking about today. You got anything else on your mind?
I do not.
All right. Well, until we come to the next conversation.
We out.
Holla.